Dar's 1976 study called Some Aspects of Asian Folklore, we can connect that these folklore stories are used as social stabilizers. Social stabilizers were very important during times of great transition, which we can see during the Qing Dynasty. And we can see one very specific text by Pu Songling called Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio during this time. During this time of great transition, there is a deep-rooted fear within every single person's idea that their Confucianist ideas were going to slowly deteriorate as more people joined the society and as their group grew. And as example, Confucianism is an ethical system focusing on social harmony, hierarchy, and family duty. And this was kind of seen as the law of the land, which everyone used reference for when talking to others and doing normal social everyday things. Using this info, we can use Songling's The Painted Skin, which is a specific story from The Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio, and Ling Bing's 2015 study in Asian ethnology called Chinese Folklore Studies Towards Disciplinary Maturity, to connect how spirits are meant to be manifestations of moral failings to follow social rules. One very specific way that we can see this, see very specific ideas, is by looking at how East Asian Gothic uses the horror placed into the domestic home as the main form of horror. Unlike Western Gothic tropes, where the outside or something different is seen as the thing that is scary, it is your most normal domestic things that make it scary. Something like the Japanese kitsune or the Chinese huijing, which are both fox spirits that are known to transform into humans, to sometimes lead humans to follow them, and to disappear from their family obligations, which automatically creates tension between individual desire and the Confucian origins that they all follow, and can also show how chaos can easily get put into the social order of every day. And this exact thing happens in the story of The Painted Skin. The story of The Painted Skin is about a man who sees a very beautiful young woman and decides that he wants to follow her, to admire her beauty, even after his wife tells him not to. And when looking in through the window to get a look at this beautiful lady, he, instead of seeing this beautiful woman, he instead sees a hideous devil with a face as green as pickled olive and teeth like the jagged edge of a saw, with her skin now laying on the bed as she is painting it. This specific here, with Songling using such dark and disgusting imagery, makes the reader feel disgusted as for the protagonist and the way that he is lusting over another woman other than his wife. And if we look at the story in a more critical analysis type of view, we can see that the wife is meant to represent the Confucian reasoning within the time period. She is telling her husband to follow order of every day, look at your morals, don't follow after another woman, continue on the right track, except for the protagonist, even though he is a wise scholar, cannot fight those desires because he has an unfaithful heart. And because of this, the demon ends up killing him. However, we get basically a Taoist priest who comes in and sees the wife, and he's meant to represent the traditional authority of this time period. And he sees how willing and traditional the wife is willing to sacrifice part of herself to be able to get her husband back. Because of that, he decides to grant it and help her bring her husband back. And if we connect this back to Dar's study, we can see that these types of stories are meant to preserve the status quo of the time. Because during this time, it wasn't just people fighting off ghosts and spirits, it was them feeling like their culture was going to collapse underneath them. And by using these stories, they were able to continue the survival of the Confucian family dynamics. And specifically with this story, the lesson is that tradition and loyalty will always be able to win against the disordered desires of man that the demon represents. Overall, we can see that East Asian Gothic literature is meant to use horror as a social lesson to keep up the Confucian ideas. And when you are able to connect stories like The Painted Skin to their ideals, we can really see how folklore is just used as a tool to maintain the social hierarchy. And one last final idea that East Asian folklore seems to expound is the world is deceiving. Only family and tradition can provide a true protection of the things that you love. Thank you. This is my contact information if you guys have any questions, and all my citing information.